Hey, a very, very big, happy welcome. We've got smiles. I've got a smile on my face today. You know, the pain of the recent weeks surpassed by that late joy at Stamford Bridge. Yes, we didn't win, but we went in with hope. We wanted to see fight. We wanted to see a performance. We wanted to see passion. We wanted to see goals. We wanted to see team spirit. And we got it in droves. A 97th minute, Captain Fantastic, Connor Cody equaliser in front of the away fans, the Wolves away fans, who again travelled in droves. The second latest Premier League goal in Wolves history, and we were there to enjoy it. And oh boy, did we celebrate it! We had a fantastic day. I went down with the producer, with Diogo Paul, with Chris the Gaff, and John the German Ballack. He looks like the German Ballack. And we had a fantastic day. And if you've not watched the match vlog, oh my God, you need to watch it. It's brilliant. And our reaction after the game. And we've got some stories. When Paul comes on, we'll talk about the story. But we're going to be talking about that game. We're going to be asking some key questions regarding, we've been calling for him, haven't we? Chiquinho. Trincão was a man possessed. You know, positive changes. We went to a back four and it made a big difference. Morgan Gibbs-White has won Sheffield United Player of the Year and Young Player of the Year. Connor Roden's been doing amazing. Good. There's lots to talk about, and we're going to be looking ahead to Manchester City and, of course, Norwich as well. And we're going to be also asking tonight another key question. Your favourite sweet. Not pudding or cake, your favourite sweets that you like. So the pundits have a listen about that. And we're going to get straight on with bringing on Diogo straight away onto the thing. Onto the channel. Paul, hi.
How's it going?
Mate, good. And I do want to say a massive big thank you again to Spider Minor, who are powering the show. They support us every single week. Please support them by clicking on the link below and checking out what they can do for you in terms of your VPNs and a little bit of, I think they've got a new crypto thing, Spider Miner, which is you plug in and it mines your crypto if you're into that sort of thing. Paul, we're going to get you nice and full on the page because we've got we've got the landscape. We've also got the latest competition from Football Prizes, which is a roll shirt coming up, and I'll give you details on that as well. Paul, mate, what a day yesterday. I spent the day with this young man and his dad and Ballack and the producer yesterday. We met at just after 9 o'clock. We all got back about 10 o'clock, just in time to watch Match of the Day, kick our heels up and watch that. Paul, talk me through your day yesterday.
It was a long day, but it was really enjoyable from start to finish. And it's exactly the kind of thing I'm going to miss when the season finishes in a few weeks' time. I mean, what we make it about is more than just the result, don't we? I mean, it's nice to have a stop off on the way and always get sent a nice packed lunch down from my stepmother. So I'm very grateful for that.
And if you've not, I don't know if you've watched the vlog back yet, Paul, you might not have had a chance yet, but if you like your packed lunches, check out the packed lunch that was in my boot yesterday, because we talked through it, and this is when we just arrived in near the ground, and we had a little bit of a bite to eat. My goodness me, it's a feast, and it's on the vlog. A lot of people saying evening to you, Paul, in the thing as well, so that's good. Let us know where you're watching. We're already up to 60. Please share it on your socials, on your Facebook and WhatsApp groups as well. And let's see whether we can't get over 100 thumbs up and likes on the video. That would be amazing. So yeah, it was a long day, you were saying, Paul, but worth it.
Definitely. It's just good to spend it with like-minded people and, like I said, make a whole day of it rather than it just being about the result. That added to the day nicely yesterday. Not just the result, but I suppose the excitement generated in the last 15 minutes or so.
Oh.
So all in all, I, like you and like a lot of people, I woke up with a spring in my step this morning, and first thing I did was put Match Today on with the kids and watch that.
Yeah, it has to be done, mate. And Paul Harris is saying you're a true football analysis. Obviously, we had our instant reaction straight after. Well, we got a story we can tell about that, Paul. You tell the story of we literally set up, we walked out, we got a little spot, we set up to start recording, and then what happened?
After the match?
Yeah, after the match.
Yeah, so we're trying to record pretty much right outside the away end, aren't we, after the match? And you've got your mic set up, producers got us all good to go, and an overzealous Chelsea security guard said, you can't film here, you haven't got accreditation. So I couldn't believe, my jaw just dropped. I'm not sure on what grounds or what they thought we were going to do that was wrong, but all we were going to do is a post-match reaction video well outside the away end, but he had to move us about 100 yards up the road, and they followed us, didn't they, to make sure that we moved.
They literally followed us until we were on there's these bollards where just off the road, and we had to stand just the other side of the bollards. It was crazy. It was like we've recorded so many match reactions, which we do for you guys, because I know you religiously look out for them try and get them up within half an hour of the game. So we come out the match and record the reaction. So you got our initial thoughts. We try and give you a man of the match. We try and give you some in-depth analysis. We give you our performance rating. And we literally were moved. It was just bizarre. I've never had it before. It was just crazy. It was crazy.
I didn't know what to say. I just laughed because I just could not see what their problem was. But it was some job's worth. And he
did have a day glow on, didn't he, Paul? John Bradbury,
yeah,
he had a day glow on.
As long as it made him feel important, then then that's all good, isn't it? But yeah, we managed to get somewhere, and we were getting a lot of attention actually when we were recording the video in the new place. So many people behind the producer were videoing us. I don't know if it's because we're in London. Maybe there's a lot of day trippers there or whatever, but
I never quite noticed that, because you probably noticed that a little bit more than me, because obviously when I'm doing the obviously hosting the instant reaction, I'm obviously talking and I'm concentrating on you guys, aren't I?
Yeah.
Making sure that everyone gets a chance to talk. So obviously when I'm probably over and I was talking to your dad or Balak, you were probably having a scanning. And I didn't really, I didn't notice it, but you said there was quite a few people that were videoing us.
That's it, yeah. Loads of people wanting to shake our hands and talk to us, and it's quite interesting just to hang around for a bit after the game, and nice to see Ruben as well, stroll past with his wife.
Well, you spotted Ruben because you were just literally doing a FaceTime with your daughters.
Yeah.
At the time, weren't you? And like outside, just after we've done the instant reaction, I was literally doing the upload, literally from the street up onto YouTube. And then I missed it again, oblivious as I am, focusing on doing all this stuff. And then Ruben Neves, Deborah, all his family come, they all come, the entourage comes walking past, don't know whilst we're there, and you say a few words in Spanish to them, don't you?
Or Portuguese even, yeah. But
Portuguese, yeah, sorry, yeah. Portuguese.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was a great day overall, and it was just that feeling of, like you said, although it wasn't 3 points, it did feel a bit euphoric, having had such a flat rest of April, the Villa game aside. It was nice to feel those feelings again of hope and happiness and excitement, and that certainly came through in those last 15 minutes yesterday.
Fantastic. Joe says he's seen you looking around, Paul. The people in the background too. Absolutely fantastic, mate. It was brilliant. I mean, I absolutely love it when we go on the trips with you and the guys. Obviously, even when we don't, we're trying to get you meet up so you can get on the instant reaction. You're coming a regular on the channel. I know when you were doing the samosa Saturday with your daughters the week before. You were obviously a roving collector, and you had quite a few people, didn't you, that came up and said some nice things to you whilst you were doing that.
I did, yeah. It's always appreciated, and I do apologise if I don't put a name to the face, from who you are. Don't, feel free to introduce yourself to me, because I often only see a name on the screen or whatever on this. So appreciate the nice comments, and people are always so friendly. And Samosa Saturday was a success, but that was one thing that I took from it as well, that a few people coming up talking about the show that you do on here and saying some nice things about that. That was really nice.
Yeah, there was some really positive. We had some really positive feedback yesterday, which is nice. And on the whole, 99.9% is really, really great. You get the odd one or two that you get the odd hater or whatever it is, but that's what you're going to get, I'm guessing. But generally, you get some really brilliant feedback. And there was a load of the fans yesterday were like really, really, really nice about the stuff that we do and everything. So it really is appreciated. We have a great community on here, and that's the thing that we go to. Mobile Gamer has made a comment. Said, "Hi Dave, we deserve the reward. Looking forward to the City game. We have to be up for it. Can't wait to see the atmosphere this Saturday and, of course, on Wednesday night." Mate, we're going to talk about the game. Obviously, the day was brilliant. I mean, I've got to tell you as well, we're going to come back to we're going to talk through the game, and then we'll come back to the trip back, because they're brilliant in the back, because they've got Balak brings his iPad and he's got live, but 2 games on the way back, and there's commentary going on as well, everything. But like, how did you feel about the game as a whole in terms of the way we started the game in the first half?
For those who've watched Match of the Day, I don't think that painted an accurate picture of the first half.
No.
It showed Dendonker's chance where he should have scored right on half time after a good run by Neto. But actually, I think we contained Chelsea pretty well, and probably I felt a little bit aggrieved that we hadn't gone 1-0 in at half time, 1-0 up. There was a Saiss header from a set piece as well. Aït-Nouri had a good run and chance, which I think it did show when they were analysing how open Chelsea were on Match of the Day. So at half time, I was obviously really pleased.
And then Dendonker chance as well.
Yeah. I mean, Sarr made a couple of what I'd call like routine saves, and they had the goal chalked off correctly for VAR offside from a set piece. But considering they're like champions of the world, as they like to keep reminding everybody, it wasn't like they were getting in behind us. It wasn't like it was loads of crazy goalmouth action. It was a pretty contained first half. And that stat about we haven't conceded a first half goal away from home since Leicester on the opening day of the season, that is something to be really proud of.
Is that since the opening day of the season we've not conceded an away first half goal?
17 games now. Yeah, it's a tremendous stat. It means that it keeps us in the game.
Yeah.
And having had such a bad performance the week before where we weren't in the game at all, at half time I was feeling pretty positive. I thought, okay, now we've got a platform. We've shown that we can create some chances and also give a bit of threat ourselves. But I did feel that we had a couple more gears to go through. So that's how I felt at half time. And then soon after that, optimism and hope had evaporated after giving them 2 goals. I think that's only what you can say about it.
It's funny
they were gifts.
Because the producers, after the first goal went in, the first words out of her mouth was, "Now we need to show a reaction." And, and literally, as we're saying that, obviously, yeah, Lukaku goes through, scores the second. It's a rare mistake from Connor Cody. And at that point, you're like, oh. But the changes that were made made a real impact. We've talked about on this show, haven't we? About Chiquinho. Every time we've seen him, and he's come on for bit parts, he's so positive. He literally goes on a run. He gets to try and pass his man. Even if he doesn't get past his man, he's positive. And boy, can that young man cross a ball. So I put a post out on social, and someone put a stat saying he'd done 78 minutes football since he was moved over, and he's had 3 assists. 3 assists. It's something like an average of an assist every 23 minutes. It's insane. And imagine if he was on the pitch for longer. Adama Traore, who you love or you hate or what have you, it creates chaos. It's created more assists in 78 minutes than Adama has. That's crazy.
Well, there's growing weight of evidence now that they can't ignore him. I can't really see a reason for leaving him out. I've heard people describe him as raw. I don't think that's a fair description, because that to me paints a picture of someone who hasn't got a first touch or who hasn't got any control or skill, who can just run. That's not the case with him. As we've seen from his deliveries into the box, that requires a lot of skill. So I don't like the label of raw that's been given to him. I'm not sure whether, you might talk about this later on. I'm not sure whether he will start against Man City, but he's knocking hard on the manager's door with his output to say, you can't ignore me. And it does make me wonder if he's got a different remit to other players, because he sends in way more crosses than what anyone else does. And I'd like to know, is that down to the instructions that he's given, or does he just do it anyway because that's what his strength is? Because I think I can imagine Neto doing the same on the other side if he's instructed to do that, rather than keep coming inside and playing narrow. Neto's strength for me is going past people on the outside,
like he did with the when he in the first half, when he forced the keeper to make a save and the donk missed, which was an open goal.
Yeah, and I've been very critical about the lack of balls we put into the box. You can't score goals if the ball's not in the box, and we seem to have found a player who has that as one of his real strengths, and I want to see us really tap into that, because I think you'll see Jimenez benefit from that as well. You can say what you want about, is his heading as good as what it was before his injury, but it's not always about scoring headers from crosses. It's about, Man City, the masters of putting balls into the box. They're on the floor as well, so it doesn't have to always be a centre forward.
Newcastle today, ain't they?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be about a centre forward out jumping a defender and scoring a header.
It's about the delivery and the timing of the run and the space.
Exactly. So it needs to be more of a feature in our game.
I think you scored a few goals from midfield back in the day, didn't you, Paul?
Well, yeah, I might have done. But I saw a stat recently that we were second from bottom in terms of balls into the box. And I see that as a big area for us to try and develop next season if we want to score more goals.
We've talked about this, haven't we? When we've gone away, you said there's like an instruction not to cross the ball. If you don't get into a thing, you then go back and go the other side. And you see what happens when you start putting the ball into an opposition's box. Panic occurs. They're kicking the ball out. You get the second ball. If the delivery's there. And the thing with Chiquinho is he must have tried to deliver it in the, I don't know, how long was he on? 13, 14, 15 minutes? In the time, he must have tried to deliver 7 or 8 crosses. Every single time he was crossing, and the rest of the team started to follow. We're going to come on to Saiz. There's a few people that said about Soyis. Is he a liability? Is it time to go? We talked about this a little bit. We're going to come on to that in a bit. I'm going to ask all the pundits this. But aside from Chiquinho, we had Wang that came on, and we had Trincão. Trincão was like a man possessed, absolute man possessed. He was everywhere. At one point, he was running back to his own in his own half and putting a crunching tackle. I've never seen him do that.
No, he did. He was like, his life depended on the result, and it wasn't just about running around a lot. He showed real quality as well.
The goal was fantastic.
With his goal, the keeper didn't even move. It was an absolute rocket past him, and he was unlucky not to get a second one 5 minutes later. I think when I've watched it back on Match of the Day, it seemed like maybe Thiago Silva
got back of his heel.
Got a little block on it, and
he did. I've watched it back, and the other thing is, guys, if you watch the match vlog that I've put up, I've got a brilliant angle of the Trincão goal. Right, we're smack centre behind the goal. We've got a brilliant angle, and you can see how it fires into the back of the net. And we've also got the one just after, as you say, when he's got the ball and it just deflects wide. We've got some real great footage of that. So from within the crowd as well. So make sure you watch it back. But like, he was absolutely fantastic. And also he passed it when he got the ball on the edge of the box. I believe it was Trincão that knocked the ball out to Chiquinho for him to make that cross for Cody.
Correct. It was, yeah. And everyone else seemed to get like, it seemed to be infectious, that because Dendoncker, who hadn't had a kick for 70 minutes, all of a sudden was actually having an active role in the game. Matinho all of a sudden came into the game. And I don't know what happened to Chelsea, but
what formation were we playing at the end, Paul?
Maybe
was it 4-2-3-1?
I think so, yeah.
Who knows what he wants to play?
Yeah, it seemed like Trincão was playing off Jimenez with Chiquinho on the right, Dendoncker and Matinho in the middle. So yeah, it was a 4-2-3-1, which I think a lot of fans would like to see utilised more, perhaps even at the end of this season and definitely going into next.
And do you think this is why when he switched to the back four, and you said on the instant reaction, one of the things that you said, it was like a light switch.
Yeah.
It was like this. It was like this, look. It was like this. It was like a light switch was turned on. All of a sudden, there's a click, and everyone just clicks. And don't forget, our king player, our star player, Neves, at this point, has been taken off the pitch. Obviously,
that's a good point.
He got 75 minutes. And it was like, is the reason that the likes of Trincão isn't at times performing, is it because he's being played in the wrong system? And when he's played in a system like this, all of a sudden, it just clicks into place for him because he seems so comfortable on the ball, so confident. And I think if it had gone on for another 5 minutes, Wolves would have won that game.
Yeah, I do. And you said about the system, I think that's one reason. I think the other one is the mindset of the players. I mean, you can't tell me at Newcastle in the first half we were trying to score a goal. Nobody can tell me that because we didn't get over the halfway line with any numbers. No. But it seemed like they just thought, the players, well, do you know what? We've got nothing to lose. We're going to go all out attack. And it seemed to be, we can affect this now. We can make something happen. The shackles were off. The players who'd been held in this rigid defensive position all of a sudden had been released. And it was like, wow, these are different players all of a sudden now.
It was, mate. And I mean, we've got to ask the question. I'm going to ask it for Speedy, Lucy and Sam as well. Sam will always say it how it is. That's how Sam is. But like, I'm going to ask you, Romain Soyis, second penalty is given away in 2 weeks. Wolves have conceded 10 penalties this season, which is more than any other side. Silly penalty to give away, really. He came off towards the end. He's out of contract at the end of the season. He's a brilliant character. He's been an amazing servant. What would you play him again this season?
No, I think that's the short answer. He made 2 mistakes in that penalty. The first one was trying to shepherd the ball out against arguably the strongest player in the league. That's a mistake. And then the next mistake was once he realised he'd lost it, you could see he just basically stuck his foot out and tripped him up, which was not a good decision at all. And I think a lot of fans didn't want to see him start that match anyway, so it just compounded the misery.
I wanted to see Totti Gomez.
Yeah,
just like I wanted to see Chiquinho. They're young players. They've, Totti Gomez, I don't think did anything wrong. Soyuz has come back in. He hasn't been the same since the AFCON. I do love Soyuz. He's a real character. He's been a brilliant, brilliant servant for the club. But when you look at the back three, it's Soyuz, Cody and Bolly. That's the same back three we were playing 4 years ago in the Championship. I think Connor Cody was magnificent yesterday. Yes, he made a mistake for the second goal where he passed it out to Mattia. I think he was trying to go and it went wrong and we conceded a goal. But he did more interceptions. There's another piece on my vlog where he gets a crunching tackle block and he comes up in the 97th minute and he scored. I mean, how many goals has Cody scored this year?
4, I think.
Raul Jimenez is the top scorer on 6. Connor Cody is a central defender and he scored 4. And he does come forward a lot more under Bruno Lage. But what a fantastic header. And
it wasn't even from a set piece. I thought he'd just stayed up from a corner, but I think he actually starts the move in our half. And I think you just watch him and think, do you know what? I'm just going to make a run in the box and hope it comes in. And he says that in his post-match interview. He said, I was just hoping that Chiquinho would get the ball and get it in. And that's exactly what happened. And he gambled and he really attacked it like with desire.
Oh, and the celebration at the end, mate, when they're all jumping into the crowd. And it's like divide, problems, all this. It's all like everyone was together again. And sometimes, I think the Leeds result really kicked us in the teeth. I think losing that game, sucked a lot out of us, especially it was a late goal, wasn't it? And when you do get a late goal like you did against, the Arsenal was late as well when we conceded them. But when you get a late goal in your favour like that and the performance and Chelsea were literally rocking. They were literally a boxer on the ropes and Wolves were just lashing up, looking for the knockout punch. We got one. And that's why I say, had the bell not rang, I do think we'd have got it. And to be fair to the Chelsea fans, we had quite a few Chelsea fans that came up to us after we'd done our recording and whilst we was out. And they were really good, weren't they? And they were saying how well we played.
Very honest, no sour grapes. None of them came up and said, you got lucky there, lads. They said, well played. You gave a really good account of yourself and fully deserved to get at least a point.
Absolutely. And, so we're going to talk before we get onto the journey home and what happened next. And then we're going to move on. Paul, we've got to ask you the key questions. Obviously, if you watch the instant reaction, you saw what Paul said there, but you might have changed your mind on reflection. But your performance rating and your man of the match?
I probably still stick to a 7 when I take the whole 90 minutes into account.
The
last,
I think you gave 7.5, didn't you? Was it a 7 or 7.5?
I stick to a 7. I think it was you that gave a 7.5. But the last 15 minutes would have been a 9 or even maybe a 10 because it was electric the last 15 minutes. I stick with Chiquinho as my man of the match because he had the biggest impact from our point of view. But I agree with what you said about Connor, not just his goal, but he mopped up so much at the back. We would miss him so much if he wasn't playing. And I think he was excellent yesterday as well.
He was, and it was a complete thing. Your favourite sweet?
I don't eat sweets, but one thing, if it counts, are Mentos.
Mentos, they can count.
Yeah, I like mints, but I won't touch sweets, pick and mix, nothing like that. I don't know. I find them too sweet.
You were talking to me yesterday about weaning me off the sugar in my tea.
I'm going to do that. By the end of next season, you won't be having sugar in your tea.
Emma's been trying for a while, but I do have sweetener there. Okay, mate, and we talk about the journey back. So on the journey back, we've walked back. We've done our reaction. You know, Paul's spoken a bit of Portuguese to Ruben and family. I think Deborah Lawrence, she smiled at you and nodded, didn't she, and said thank you back or something.
I think
like
she
that.
just about understood my attempt at Portuguese, yeah. But
yeah. So then we have a wander back to the car after quite a chat after the thing, because some chappy reporter gave you a program for your daughters. We get back to the car. We have another cup of tea and a few sandwiches. The picnic's still not gone. Then we're driving back, and then on the way back, you got the three lads in the back. They've got the first game on, which was, I'm not sure what was it. Was that the Liverpool game? The first one.
It was Brighton dismantling Man United.
Brighton dismantling Man United. So we got that. We get to the services to have a break and a cup of tea. And as we're walking into the services, literally, we've got out the car and we're walking in the entrance. Who do we see?
We saw a familiar face. We saw Mr. Jeff Shi strolling out of Warwick services. The first thing that you did was go over to him and say, "Oh, I want to tell you about my channel." And he didn't deny that he hadn't watched it as well. But he seems like a very shy and quiet man. He was happy to have a quick chat and a smile with us. But equally, you could tell he didn't really want to hang around. Because
he was on his own. I was really surprised he was on his own.
I think I've seen him on his own quite a bit going to away games, and I shook his hand and thanked him for what he'd done so far for our club. I mean, we all want him to put his hand in his pocket and splash out in the summer, but you can't deny under Fosun we've moved forward massively. So he's a shy man. He seems like quite a private man. He didn't want to get into a big discussion with us, but he was happy to have a quick chat.
We didn't even get a photo with him. We were literally just like, oh my God, he literally, you could just see the beam on his face when he saw us walking towards him as he was coming out the services.
Yeah. He could have got us around in Starbucks, couldn't he, to be honest? But
if we'd got there a bit earlier, we could have all right, Jeff sat there at his table and got, how you doing? Just got the camera out, right. But it was lovely, and we obviously were really nice to him and everything. And let's hope as we all want in the summer, there's some investment. We talked about that a lot on the last one. Before we just move on to Speedy, who's coming up next, because he'll have all his stats. Paul, Morgan Gibbs-White has been named Sheffield United Young Player and Player of the Season. Trincão was fantastic yesterday. Adama's not getting any time at Barcelona. What are your thoughts on all three of those after yesterday?
The first thing about Gibbs-White is it depends if Sheffield United get promoted. If they get promoted, they'll want him, but they'll have to stump up quite a lot of money. I think that really everything's in our favour with that deal. Personally, I hope they don't get promoted and that he comes back and he gets a proper run in the side next year. What more do you want him to do this year? He's gone on loan to a good championship side. He scored 12 goals. He's got plenty of assists. Surely
7 assists, 12 goals.
Yeah, that's what the loan is designed to do. It's designed to showcase his talent, to prove that he can have output, if you like, numbers, goals, assists. He's done that. So it's make or break, and I think he deserves a good run in the side next year. And I think particularly if it's a 4-2-3-1 formation, that will really play into his hands as well. With regards to Trincão, I've seen flashes, as we all have, of his undoubted skill that he has. Personally, I wouldn't be signing him still at the moment. But
would you have him on another loan?
What I would suggest is that there's another loan, because maybe over the last few months, he started to adapt to the English game. If the shackles are off the team in general next year, will we see more? Would we see a better version of him? I think so. So I still wouldn't be stumping up a big chunk of our budget on him, but I'd be having another look, I think. Because I don't think we're going to see Traore again play for us. Because with the 12 months on his contract, they've got to sell if he's not going to sign.
Well, Neil White basically has said MGW sell him. And Joe makes a very good point. Mason Mount at Derby now in the Chelsea team. And that's exactly the result, really. I mean, that you ideally want from Morgan Gibb White. He's English as well. He's had an incredible season. He's a local lad from Stafford. Yes, he's had issues. Yes, he's probably made mistakes. But if he's gone to Sheffield United and played regular football, got stronger, got so much game time, and the Championship is an unforgiving league. It's a tough league. And if he's grown up there and he comes back to Wolves, twice the player, I think Wolves would be absolutely nuts not to be looking at seeing how he can fit into a system, because you don't become player of the season in a team like Sheffield United, young player and player of the season, their best player. And when they went there, they were struggling, and turn their season around and be rubbish. And to turn around and say, yeah, just sell him. That's you're entitled to an opinion, but I just think you're basing that on what was. You've got to base it on how Bruno wants to play and how he can fit into the system, like what you say. So I personally agree. I hope Sheffield United get knocked out in the semi-finals. He's learnt a lot, and then we don't have that issue, and he comes back, and then they can have a proper look at him and really try and fit him into the system. Let's face it, we need forward-thinking midfielders. And if we've got one of our own that can do that as well, that's going to save a bit of budget that we can invest in other areas. I'm not saying don't get another midfielder, because I think we're going to need at least another one like that, Polina or Sanchez or someone coming in. But I think Morgan is there. Luke Kundle's there, depending on obviously what happens with Matinho and Neves and Dendoncker. I think we'd be madness not to try and get the benefit of that loan.
Yeah, I mean, there is an argument to sell him because his stock is high. He's coming off the back of an excellent season. If he doesn't want to be here because he wants guaranteed first-team football, it would be a good time to sell him. But I don't think they should sell him, because he's proven over the course of a year that he's worth a go. You can't say he's proven at Premier League yet, because he just simply hasn't had the minutes and chances to do that. But we have seen some flashes at Premier League level. The assist against Chelsea a couple of years ago, good goal against Brighton last year as well at home. So I'm all for giving him a run in the side, but I do see the argument of selling while his stock is high as well.
I think you're absolutely right, Matt. I think you make some brilliant points, as always, Paul. And if you've not seen the match vlog, go check it out and the instant reaction after the show. It's some brilliant comment. It's a fantastic match vlog. And we've got looking ahead to City. Before we move on to Speedy quickly, would you make any changes for the City side? Would you play four at the back, or would you go back to the 3-5-2?
I think he'll play with the 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, one of those two. Be interesting if he was really brave and said, we're 5 points behind West Ham, we just got to go for it, But I think he'll start with the 3-4-3 and possibly revert to the flat back four. It
would surprise United if we come out, not United, City, we come out of the 4, and apparently they've got 3 defenders out. So go at them, attack them, and get the goals, and then shut up stop maybe.
Yeah, I mean, a draw's not a disaster, but really, it would really put the cat amongst the pigeons again if we beat Man City on Wednesday.
Wolves are the kingmakers.
Obviously, yeah, I mean, it's really unlikely, of course. But we run them really close with 10 men at their place. We've got a decent record against them since we've been promoted.
They don't like playing Wolves.
But yeah, Toto Gomez has got to come in for Saiss. I think I'd go with Neves and Matinho as a 2, and probably start Jimenez, Neto. I think he'll start Trincão But
And then have Chiquinho in reserve.
I think he'll give him a good half an hour once.
Well, boy, if he gives him half an hour, that's 1.5 assists.
Exactly, if he keeps up his current ratio. But I think that's what he'll do. And I think there's going to be a lot of clamour for Chiquinho to get more and more minutes. Certainly against Norwich, I'd expect him to start.
Fantastic. Paul, thank you very much for your time again this evening. You talk really, really well at all. And hopefully you're going to be joining us for a game of football, 6-a-side up in Stafford on Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to having a run around. So thanks for the invite.
That's the first part of your trial for the Always Wolves team, mate. So you better be on top of it.
We need to get that game booked in at the Molineux, and that's what I'm holding out for.
Yeah, well, if it don't happen this year, make sure it happens next year. That's for sure. But yeah, it'd be absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to that. Obviously, I'll talk to you offline. We'll sort that out.
Brilliant. Yeah.
All right. Take care, mate.
Yeah. Cheers. Cheers, everyone. See you later.
Cheers. That's Paul. I know you always love to see Paul. He always talks an awful lot of sense. Brilliant to get him on the channel again tonight. And obviously leave your thoughts on what he's got to say. We've got Speedy coming up, then Lucy, and then Sam, who's sitting in front of Connor Cody's dressing room tonight. He does get about, does Sam. So next up, it's Statman, otherwise known as Speedy.
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Another one who wants to audition to be part of the Always Wolves football team.
Yes, thank you. If I have the opportunity, I would appreciate it.
You're very fast, apparently, you were telling me. And that's why they call you Speedy.
Correct. You're very fast as well.
Tonight?
You're very fast as well. I've seen, when you were doing that charity match.
Yeah.
And you had that chance.
Yeah.
You were very composed, and it was a good save by the keeper. You're very quick, Dave, so well done.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I think, is that the one, the first one I did, where the ball was crossed, it was headed out, and I literally kneed it and then turned and hit it with my weaker foot on my left foot, and the keeper tipped it round the post. I was quite pleased with that shot, to be fair. And the whole of the second half, I was playing with a bad knee. It was all strapped up, so I'm not sure about how quick I was, but it was. I was quick to react. Perhaps you mean?
Yeah, very good reaction, and I bet it was surreal though, playing on actual Molineux, like where it's brilliant. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, I've done it twice, and it was it is fantastic. And my shots were one was in front of the North Bank in the first half from 30 yards, and the other one was just on the edge of the box in front of the South Bank. But yeah, it was a good experience, I have to say.
I've watched your match vlog as well.
Yeah, the match vlog for that was a good one. Getting changed in the changing rooms and walking out onto the pitch was an experience, that's for sure. So, Speedy, are you going to kick off with some thoughts? Or have you got your stats first?
Which one would you prefer? You're the boss.
Go with your stats first.
Okay, boss, no worries. Thank you for letting me on the show. A great show as always, and Paul made some great points, and I'm sure the other pundits will make some great points as well. So Chelsea 2, Wolves 2. Shots 19 for Chelsea, 6 on target as well. For Wolves 14 and on target 4. Possession, Chelsea had 59.3 possession, Wolves 40.7. Yellow cards, Chelsea had 1 and Wolves had 3. Corners, Chelsea had 9 and Wolves had 3. I've got some Connor Cody stats if you like as well.
Yeah, go with the Cody stats. It'd be interesting.
Captain Fantastic, as me and my mum called it, and all the other Wolves fans. So he's got 6 goals for Wolves. This season he's made 132 tackles, interception 110. Passes, he's made 6,490.
Wow.
So when he switches the ball to Semedo, who normally plays at right wing back.
Yeah.
But that's Johnny at the moment, isn't it? So basically, his accuracy of doing a long ball is 905, which is amazing.
Wow, that's incredible.
And his tackle success this season is 60%. So that's very good, isn't it?
It's really good, mate. That's good stats, that is. And did you watch the game?
Yes, I did actually. I got to stream this time, thank you.
Where did you get your stream?
It's called Football TV.
Football TV. Is that like a bit version of His Goals that you go on and you get?
I used to go on that, and me and my mum used to watch that, and then obviously that, I don't know why, but that got cancelled. So we watched that one, and
They're
luckily,
not doing the Premier League or any football now, are they?
no.
So that's useful to know for people, you know.
Yeah,
And don't forget, if you do watch a stream, you can get your Spider VPN router and connect to any device in your house. And the link's in the description below. And it's you can pretend to be in America or Australia or wherever.
That's brilliant, and thank you for the advice. The only con was about the stream was we were 3 minutes behind, so we had it on Gillette Soccer Special. And also, I know Lee Hendry's a Villa legend, but he was commentating on the game. And I'm not going to lie, even though Chelsea went 2-0 up, I always had faith because I could just see Wolves doing something in the game. And I definitely think the substitutes made a difference when Trincão, Wang Hee-chan and Chiquinho came on. They were very good and they definitely changed the game. And I think Wolves should have won the game, definitely. But I'm happy with the point. Like you say, it shows team spirit. I'm happy with the point. But they definitely should have won.
Well, apparently Sutton Lad says that we should call you the Oracle.
Oh, thank you very much.
Fantastic. So, did you watch the game with your mom?
Yes, I did. Yes. And
what were you doing when Cody scored?
Oh, I just went absolutely berserk. I felt bad for my neighbours because I did shout quite loud. But yeah, it was just a brilliant goal, and the ball that Chiquinho put into the box was unbelievable. And on your match vlog, I said to my mum, "Because a bloke when Chiquinho hit the ball in, he said yes, as if to say that ball that he swung in the box was that good. It was just waiting for someone to come onto it, and obviously Connor Cody did with an absolutely brilliant header. So yeah,
it was absolute bedlam, mate, in the away end. I'm sure you've soaked up the match vlog a few times.
Jumping sideways upwards.
Do you know what? One of the funniest things, and again, I would encourage everyone that's watching to watch the match vlog, because what I find quite amusing, and what the producer, when we watched it back today and I'd finished the edit, said, you've literally got the joy and the pain of both sides. Because where I sat, where I stood, was right behind the goal, where I was literally right on the edge. And then, when you've got that netting and you've got the away fans, I was literally the last person netting away fan. So on my right is all of the sea of Wolves. On my left is all the Chelsea. Now, if you watch the match log through, when I keep panning left to right at various points during the vlog, and you've seen it. So you've got the Chelsea fans giving it large, as they would do when they're 2-0 up and doing all that and giving it to the Wolves fans. And then the goals started to come from Wolves, and especially when when Trincão scored, and then when Connor scored. Obviously, I've got the goal. I pan to the Wolves fans, and we're going absolutely nuts. And then I pan across to the Chelsea fans, and they're just...
I know, they're just still on the silent.
They're just stunned. And that's, to me, that is magical. And obviously, guys, check it out, because it is literally, it's magical. It is just like, you just go from you look to your right, and you're all going absolute bedlam and nuts. And then you look to the left. I've just put the Connor Cody goal out on the Always Wolves TikTok as well, with a and it's all gone quiet over there on the TikTok as well. So if you do the TikTok, or you got the Always Wolves, I've put that out in there. But watch the match vlog; it's absolutely brilliant. Just because you've got the reaction of both sets of fans from side to side, and I'm glad that you enjoyed that. And
I always do. Your vlogs are absolutely exceptional. Well done. You should be proud.
I just put a lot of work in. Obviously, it's the video and the editing, so I do appreciate that, mate.
No worries.
So, what's your performance rating?
First half, I gave it a 5. Sorry if that sounds a bit low.
Yeah.
Second half was a 7.5/8. Like I say, the way they came back was unbelievable. But this is typical Wolves, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like, they go on a bad run, and then they just... they put a performance like that in the second half against Chelsea. It's like, and I said to my mum, when it was full time. I goes, this Wolves team could beat anyone on their day. And
Oh, we can, no doubt about it. If they are, if they're on it and they're positive, we could, and we can. And it's like, I believe that we're going to beat Manchester City on Wednesday night. I don't know. I just believe it. We'll probably lose to Norwich at the following game because that's typical. What I've said it on here. We'll go not do very well against Brighton and Norwich, and we'll do great against City, Chelsea, and Man City and Liverpool because that's what. But I don't know. I've just got this feeling that, and this buzz, I might be completely wrong. But I just feel really positive going into the City game because I just feel that it's given everyone such a lift, and it's taken a little bit of stress away and the goals. And if they can be positive like that, they were positive like that at the start of the season, and we were taking teams apart. And you saw for 15 minutes then the way they zipped. Up until recently, we've just been like crabs going side to side, pass, slow pass, knock it back, knock it forward, knock it back, slow, fast, down the wing, come back, go round again, maybe get and create nothing. Whereas, against Chelsea, we were, especially towards the end, we were moving the ball, 1-2 touches, clever touches, passing it out, moving the ball fast. The space that Chiquinho had found for the cross as well that we built, and it was a great move. If you watch the whole of the move, we started at the back and we created the space, and it was finished off so well. And because we moved the ball fast and quick, and players were running off the ball to create the space. And when you do that, things happen. And that's exactly what happened. It was brilliant, and we've got to see more of that.
Definitely.
Who was your man of the match?
Oh, so can I just make this point as well? Thank you, because you're on about the second goal, how they came from the back to forward. I think it was Stephen Sidwell, and he said when they got the second goal, he said Wolves should be winning this now. They've been absolutely exceptional. And I watched the first goal, I've watched the whole match, and I've watched Match of the Day. And Den Donker tackles, I don't know who it was, but basically all Chelsea's three midfielders, they're all out of position, and that tackle gets us onto that counter attack. So he tackles it, and then I don't know what happens next, but I think it's Trincão. No, Chiquinho.
I think it's Chiquinho that makes the run, isn't it, through the centre?
Yeah, for the first goal, I think someone passes it to Trincão. I can't remember who it was. Chiquinho, thank you.
He literally picks the ball up and drives through the middle of the park and passes it to Trincão.
It's like that. That's what shows what I mean. Like when you play quicker in football, like that one tackle took Chelsea's midfield out. It's like the way Trincão scored as well. That was like a composed finisher. Like he's been doing it for years. And I said to my mom, I goes, I agree with Paul. Give him another loan. I think he's got something in him. I do. Like the way he can move a ball, the way he can shoot a ball, and the chances he creates. It shows he has got something in him, and I like the look of him. Traoré, I do like Traoré. He had something different, but like he's got no end product, if you know what I mean. And Chiquinho, like you say, he's been on, was it 13, 14 minutes, and he creates them chances, and he's already, you know what I mean. Look what he's already done in a short space of time, and if he has more time, he'll become an exceptional player, and
you can see he's going to be a quality player. To finish up on your favourite sweet.
My favourite sweet is a lemon sherbet. My man of the match is Chiquinho. I think that's what. My mum said about Saiss. No. I think the thing is with Saiss is he has put some good performances in. But he's not been consistent enough, if you know what I mean. He's a nice bloke. I've met him and I've had a photo with him, and he's a nice bloke. He's
a great bloke. He's a great character.
But like my mum says, he's probably just not consistent enough. But yeah, that's all I've got for you, Dave.
Fantastic. And Adrian James says, have you heard that there's a new actor to play Doctor Who? I have. That would be very, very interesting. Adrian Richards says you're making some good points. But no, we play better moving the ball quick forward, not sideways. Absolutely. Speedy, an absolute pleasure to have you on again. It's good to have you back. I always love your stats. People love the fact that you're Speedy the stat man. And thank you very much for your contributions this evening.
No worries, mate. Take care and brilliant show.
And if you enjoy Speedy's contribution, please smash a like on the video. See you on the next one, mate.
Take care, mate. Thank you.
Cheers. So we've got Lucy up next. Hello, Lucy.
Evening. Good
Good
evening.
evening. How are you?
I'm all right, thank you. Yes, not too bad.
Oh, mate, how are you feeling?
Well, it's nice to be sitting here with a big fat smile on my face, I tell you, after last week's performance. Well, non-performance.
Well, absolutely. And I'll tell you what I want to do, just before we get on to you. Football prizes. There's 125 entries, I think, on this Raul Jimenez shirt, plus there's 2 instant wins as well, which basically means if you pick your number, and if it's you pick your box, and if it's that, it's a bit like that Noel Edmonds show. You pick the box and you could win instantly. But there's a signed Raul Jimenez shirt which ends on Thursday, and there's only 125 entries in it. I think there's about 95 already gone. The link to that is in the description below, and that looks like a great prize, especially if you love your Raul. Mate, where did you watch the game?
I was there. I
knew you were going to say that. I didn't see
there.
you, but I knew you were going to say you were there.
I was there. Oh, God. What a day. The whole day from start to finish yesterday was brilliant. I mean, we did miss part of the start, actually, because we were late getting to the game. We had to get off the coach.
Who did you travel with?
Atherton Wolves.
Atherton Wolves.
Yeah.
Do they know you come on the channel?
Sorry?
Do they know you've come on the channel sometimes?
I do. I did have a word with Rush yesterday. I did tell him that I'm going to mention him. And I just want to say thank you so much to Russ and the gang. They do an absolutely fantastic job. They look after us all. We always have great stop-offs before we get to the games, and they're just brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I love them all.
Well, a big shout out to Atherton Wolves for looking after Lucy. And if any of those guys ever want to get on the channel as well, they can just get in touch. And I hope some of them are subscribed and watching, mate. And you representing them really, really well. So how long did it take? You got loads of people saying hello to you, by the way, Lucy.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, how long did it take you to get down there then? What time did you set off?
We set off at 7:30 on the morning, and then we obviously and then we missed 10 minutes of the first half.
Thank goodness there was no goal.
Yeah, and that's from literally jumping off the coach in traffic to run round.
Was you stuck on traffic for a while then on the way down?
Yeah, really bad. There was a Arctic that had been
What motorway were you on?
M40.
Yeah, you see, I use this app called Waze, and we were traveling down, and it identified that there was a traffic jam, and it took us off for was it a couple of junctions? It took us off for a couple of junctions. We were literally traveling down this open road through the countryside, and we could see the motorway on the right-hand side, and we were literally, traveling down open road, and we could see the motorway literally about 200 yards to the right, and all the traffic was still, and we were literally flying down, and we literally got off, took us past all the traffic, and then put us back on again.
Yeah, if I'd have had my camera ready, I'd have videoed it and put it on Facebook to show you. It was bad. You were
stuck there for about an hour, were you?
Yeah, it was really bad. But we got there.
You were all stressing about getting to the game, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah.
So you literally pulled up and piled off.
Yeah.
And got into the game.
Yeah.
But at least you didn't miss too many. I mean, you got there, you only missed the first 10 minutes, and there was no goals.
I know, but I was really looking forward to the start.
Yeah, you do. The atmosphere, the build-up and everything.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to singing along to the Liquidator, to be honest.
Well, I did sing along to that. They were doing the old, because we don't get it at the Wolves. Whilst you were stressing on the coach, we were tucking into our saunas and stuff where we parked and stuff like that before we had a gander over and stuff. I suppose you ate all yours on the way down, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we had ours at the pub stop. So that was
What, you stopped at the pub? Where did you stop? What town?
Arrow.
Oh, you stopped. Is this before or
Yeah.
after the motorway?
It was after.
All right. So you had
That-
time. So you had time for a stop still then.
Yeah, we still had time for a stop.
Yeah, and a couple of
Yeah.
bevies.
Leaving at that time in the morning, yes.
You did it. Well, you have to have the toilet break as well, don't you? By the time you get to there as well. Absolutely.
yeah.
So on to the game itself. Talk me through it.
I don't know where to begin. I think for the whole game, we did fantastic. We did play a damn good game of football. Yes, there were mistakes. Cody, messed up, and then Donker had that sitter. But I'm not being funny. Everybody keeps slagging Den Donker off, saying, "Oh well, he keeps missing and he's rubbish." And at least he's in that position to be able to do that. Where are the strikers? Because I didn't see them. At least
I thought Raul put a stronger effort into this game.
Yeah, he did.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, I definitely can't argue with that. But
Yeah.
at least that's what I'm saying. Now at least Dendonker was there to, I don't know.
He does go in for a lot of stick. He's a bit Marmite Dendonker. He does a lot off the ball, and like Speedy quite aptly pointed out, that tackle it took their three midfielders out, and then Chiquinho ran it up the pitch for the first goal, and then it all changed, didn't it? I mean the football. Whereabouts were you? Were you lower? Upper?
I was up at here in row 7, but the view that we had was fantastic. We saw everything, so it was great from where we were. We had brilliant seats.
And what was it like when the 97th minute equaliser went in?
Dave, all I did was squeal, and then I fell to the floor crying.
Yeah.
I was so elated, and of course it was my boy that got it. I love my codes.
You love your Cody, don't you?
I do love my codes. He's on me back.
Oh, we've also got David Crow here, who says, "Hi Lucy, it's Reg from Hatherton Wolves. Great day yesterday." And he wants to know if you managed to find the coach after the match. Okay.
No, we didn't. The
You
police.
lost the coach.
Yeah, the police kept sending us the wrong way. It was ridiculous. Not one of the police was helpful. They just gave the name of the road, and we had to find it on maps.
So how long did it take after the match to find the coach?
I've got to say, it was about half an hour to 45 minutes.
And was everyone waiting for you, or was there a load of you that were trying to get in?
They were all waiting for us. But there there were loads of fans, other than our lot and our coach, that couldn't find us. So they were all following us.
And the relief when you found, did you get an applause and a cheers when you got there?
Yeah. And a few sweat.
When they do that, it's like that, isn't it? It's like that, isn't it? But at what time did you get back? What time did you walk through the door?
Well, we got back to Wolverhampton about 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad, to be honest, being as though there was traffic on the way back as well.
Yeah.
Because trying to get out of London was just a joke. We went past the stadium about 3 times, I reckon. It was ridiculous.
That reminds me when we went to play in Turin against who was it? Torino. And we went round the city and the buses about 3 times before we got to the stadium. And that's sort of a bit like that then.
Yeah, it was bad. Every time we went past, I went, "Oh, it's over there."
It must be what a goldfish feels like when it's swimming around its bowl. It's like, oh, there's a nice plant. Never seen that before. Swims around. Oh, there's a nice. You know what I mean? When they just swim around the goldfish bowl, it's a bit like that, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, did you think they were taking the mick?
I think they were. And if we could have found a light, it was on red. It was going to be on red, each one.
I bet. Yeah, fantastic, mate. It's just the way it goes. But I mean, it was an amazing end to the day, and everyone. I bet everyone on the coach was buzzing when you got back.
Absolutely, it was great. The atmosphere inside the ground, on the coach, it just made everybody feel positive. And I love my positivity,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it just, everybody was just had a smile on the face, and they had something to talk about.
And they're skipping their step.
Yes, yes,
It was
yeah.
brilliant, mate. Because we've recently we've not had a lot to. We haven't had a goal to cheer for forever. It's like I felt like I was going to get that video that you sometimes see when the team hasn't scored for a while. You've got the people in the crowd with the arrows pointing to the. Do you know the video I mean? You've seen it probably. Like get a load of coloured arrows and have all the fans pointing to where the goal is for the players and stuff like that. But like it was just a relief, and to score the one, it was a great goal from Trincão. I mean, what are you thinking about Trincão, mate? Because like,
I like him.
Yeah,
I do. I mean, he reminds me very much of when Neto first started. He's another one that reminds me very much of Neto. He's very good on the ball. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's just given the opportunity to do it. That's the problem. It seems like the other players don't want to give him that chance on the ball because they'd rather the ones that have, been playing for us for a while. And as you saw, that lad, he's class.
What a goal!
He's class. That goal.
You watched the match vlog, Luce?
Yeah. Going to hit you on the head, Dave, to be fair. The way it comes through the net.
Oh, it's brilliant how it just flies into the back of the net. I got it perfect, hadn't I?
You did. It was brilliant timing, that was. It was absolutely fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah,
the bedlam between the Wolves fans and the Chelsea fans after Connor scored as well.
Yeah.
That was priceless. That was. It was brilliant. And like I said, I think there's only one team that was going to really win it if it had gone on another 5 minutes. I think because Chelsea were literally punch drunk at this point. They didn't really know what hit them. It was like, where did they? It was like they'd all been like alien beings had suddenly beamed into their body, and they're just, and they were all playing like on FIFA XL mode or whatever. It was insane. Trincão was literally possessed. Yeah. He was literally possessed, and the goal was brilliant. And his confidence was up, and he laid the ball off to Chiquinho for the equaliser. He had another one that just took a deflection wide. Yeah. He was linking up the play. He was getting back, and he was getting tackles in. I've never seen him like this, and I think it's the system that works for him. And if we play that system next year, or we're going towards that, then maybe, just maybe, he is worth, like what Paul says. Giving another opportunity if we can get him back on loan, because it does seem to work for him.
I certainly would. I'd certainly keep him on if we can.
And what's your thoughts on Morgan Gibbs-White? Obviously, player of the season at Sheffield United Championship.
I'm proud of him. Good on him. He's one of our own. Whether he'd suit Premier League football is another matter. Because he's doing well in the Championship doesn't always mean that they're going to come.
Would you take like last year when Ivan Toney was playing for Brentford in the Championship? Would you have taken him to Wolves?
I would.
So one of the reason what I'm saying to that, there's players in the Championship that people talk about. Oh yeah, he'll do well in the Premier League and this, that, and the other. And you've got Morgan Gibbs-White, who's literally 12 goals and 7 assists. If he wasn't a Wolves player, people would be thinking, oh, he could step up. So I think he needs to be given an opportunity. I mean, I do. He's a local lad. Sheffield United go up, they're going to want to buy him, and if we do sell him, we'll get a good fee for him. Your performance rating, your man of the match, and your favourite suite?
Performance rating, I'd give an 8.
Yeah.
Or the simple feeling of positivity and the buzz that they gave us fans. It was just electric. Simple as that. It was electric. Walking away from that ground, even though we couldn't find the coach and we were blooming annoyed, it just felt good. You know, we couldn't stop singing all the way back. Man of the match, I'd give it Coates.
Cody, good choice. Yeah, he had a great game. He finished the thing. He held the team together.
It is.
Davy Krause says, well done. Love from Hatherton Wolves. It's brilliant. We could say half of the Hatherton Wolves loving tonight, isn't it?
Yeah.
And what's your favourite sweet?
Rhubarb and custard.
No, it's not pudding.
No.
Oh, are they sweets?
Yeah.
Oh, look, apparently the producer said that does pass as a sweet.
Emma knows. She
knows. Apparently they're very nice. And Lucy, do you know? Do you follow the her game to Wolves?
I do.
If people don't, that is the Instagram, and it's the same on Twitter. Wolves HGT. The producer Emma is the Wolves ambassador on that, and please go and support that on Instagram and also on Twitter. Wolves HGT. Wolves Her Game Too, and there's Wolves have just recently announced an official partnership. And there's going to be lots of stuff coming, hopefully, for next season on that. And, Lucy, drop a message in if you've not already done on Instagram or Twitter, because there's Emma can fill you on a few things that's going to be coming up that you might want to get involved with as well as a lady. So
Brilliant.
Brilliant. And everyone else, make sure you go follow them. Adrian Drumsticks. Adrian Drumsticks has said, Dave, do you remember drumsticks and refreshers? I think we all do, don't we? Absolutely. And John Wallace is a Liverpool fan, and I'm praying you take 3 points off City. What are you thinking for City?
I'd be happy with a 1-0 to us.
I'll be happy with a 1-0 to us as well. I ain't going to lie.
I'd like to give them. I think we'll give them a good game. I'm feeling pretty positive about that game, to be honest. I can see us nicking a 1-0, no problem.
It's going to be a good night under the lights at Molineux, so let's hope we do. And then expectation will rise for the Norwich game, and you'll know what will happen for that. But there you go. Carl Whitehouse wants to know if you remember pear drops.
I certainly do. I love sweets, full stop.
Yeah.
The only thing which is licorice, because it's disgusting.
I'm not into licorice myself, to be honest, Lucy. I really ain't one of it.
All right.
And the cola cubes, they're going, we've got it all started here.
Oh, look what we started.
Apparently, Diaz, Stone and Walker are all out until the end of the season, so the defence is a little bit light maybe for Man City. So maybe we should attack them from the off. Get on them, play the 4-2-3-1 and attack. Attack.
In the one that starts the attack thing.
That would be amazing.
It's great. I love it.
Oh, man. You do. And Lucy, thank you very much for coming on. I think that you're getting quite comfortable and coming on and talking now, aren't you?
Oh, very much.
And you're quite relaxed. If you've enjoyed Lucy coming on the channel, make sure you smash a like on the video and leave a comment for her as well. And Lucy, hopefully the next extra time actually will be after Norwich, and obviously there'll be the Man City and the Norwich, so we'll be talking about 2 games at the next one, and then looking ahead to the final match of the set. Have you got your tickets for Liverpool?
I'm not going to Liverpool. Can't get tickets.
I've got my ticket. I'm going to the Stockport the day before to watch the Wolves women final.
Oh, yes. I wanted to go to that.
You can still get tickets for that. I think so. Maybe we'll see. Maybe see you there. And then Liverpool the next day. I think we're stopping over in St Helens, so we're doing a weekend. So I'll do a bit of a small vlog, hopefully a celebratory vlog for the Wolves women, and we want to wish them well. And of course, the under-23s as well are doing well too.
I'm hoping to go and watch them. Very much. I've got to see what I can do about work. That's the problem, because I'll finish work.
No, that's the thing, and it's always these things. Lucy, thank you very much for coming on. I much appreciate some brilliant comments from you as always.
No problem at all, sweetheart. Thanks for having me, and good night, everybody.
Okay. And don't forget to message the Wolves HGT.
Definitely. Will do. Will do. Take care.
Take care, mate. Bye. And next, last but not least, it's past the watershed hour, and it is in front of a Connor Cody sign. Woo, Captain Cody. He's got a smile on his face. He's wearing a very smart Pierre Cardin top as well. Hello, Sam.
Good evening, all, everybody. Always Wolves.
Always
what can we say?
What can you say?
7 days, 16 hours and 48 minutes of playtime. What can you say?
I know.
We get a goal. To get one goal, let alone two. Yeah,
I know. What a difference a week makes to to all of us.
I'll tell you what, Bruno, if you have got COVID, keep it. Don't bother coming back. Tony Roberts, take the job to the end of the season.
Well, apparently, according to Tony Roberts, Bruno was still calling the shots from the training ground. He was watching it on the big screen with his brother, and all the changes were instigated by Bruno, apparently.
Well, if he got COVID and he got into the training ground, naughty Bruno. Hope they disinfected afterwards. Yeah,
then they will do it. Hopefully, he's feeling well. I don't think he's feeling ill. He's just tested. Just tested positive. But the substitutions did make a difference, didn't they?
It was totally different. I mean, the first half, I was struggling to give him a 3 out of 10, but that second half, we took off Neto, Martinho, and Sace. I'm afraid if Sace hadn't have been taken off, I think he would have got himself sent off the way he was playing. No disrespect. You've asked the question of others.
Yeah, as you've mentioned, Sace, let's give us your thoughts.
I don't want to see him in a Wolf shirt again. I say, let him go. He's detrimental to the team in what he's giving away this season. And I think that was the epitome of it this week. I don't know if you watched any of the games today, but double-footed action and tackles. There's been players sent off. They've been looked at by VAR. Single player, single feet going in, feet down. They've got cards. He's doing it all the time. He's going to cost us another game if he plays. So no disrespect to anybody if you like him. I'd say bye-bye at this point.
No, I like Saïs. I think he's a great character. And I think he's been a fantastic servant for the club. I mean, we all go back to that Middlesbrough game when we had 9 men and he was out on his feet like a plank. And he's given a lot for Wolves. But I just think, especially since the Africa, I mean, he's always had a foul in him. I mean, he's
been heavy-footed. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's come to the point now where maybe his contract's out and he's been exposed a lot. And 2 penalties in a week as well. One, obviously it was on his left hand, but his hand was out a little bit. And then the one, flicking out like...
Yeah, you can't do it. I mean, refs don't allow it in these days. I don't know whether it was frustration from the way we've been playing, frustration that his balls were going astray.
Well, Paul said it, and he made 2 mistakes. One, he tried to shepherd it out, and the other one, he tried to... I don't know what he tried to do, and then obviously just inside the box and... Yeah. It's another penalty, and he went off towards the end, and we were all wondering, will this be the last time we see Romain Saïs play?
I think it could be, but I've got no disrespect. The other players that could come on were doing a better job for him. I mean, I look at who came on, and you say, however we're going to pronounce this surname, everybody gets it differently. Chiquinho, I think, was superb, absolutely brilliant, put his all in. I'd like to see him start the next game. Totti Gomez, we've not seen him on the pitch very often. I'd like to see him start against Man City. I'd also like to see Luke Cundle given a chance to come out and do something. So there's 3 changes I would make. But I think the team that was playing at the end of the second half, I'd start against City.
And the formation?
Yeah, I'd keep it exactly the same. I don't think City will be expecting it. If we go with our normal 3, 2 wing-backs, etc. I think City will know that. They've watched so many videos. They'll have us from the second we kick the first ball. If we go with 4 at the back and they're not expecting... Yeah, I don't think they'll expect 4 and a 3 and a 2 and then just 1 up front. I also have got this thing about whoever. We've not seen much of him this season.
Hoover.
Yeah, whoever, as I like to call it, because nobody
Whoever,
sees
that's
him.
really good.
Yeah.
I like that.
You got it
Whoever.
there. Yeah. So Hoover, yeah, I just don't think we've seen enough of him yet to give him a decent try. I don't know.
I think he might be going in the summer as well.
I think he is as well. Yeah.
I think
I look
him,
at
Saeed.
Wangi Chan, and we said this last. I don't know why we've bought him or we're going to buy him. He just did nothing for me. There we are. Time bomb. I've just read that as well from Matthew. He did nothing for me in that game. So I don't know. Tony, tell Bruno what you think, and let's have a good go against Man City. Hopefully we can get a.
I'd have
3 points
Chiquinho
out
on corners as well because he can really cross the ball.
Well, I was right.
Kicks.
Yeah, I was right. Where you were sitting behind goal, I was 2 blocks further out. I wasn't in the very end block.
Were you on the downstairs bit, the lower tier?
Lower tier. I was only down. Where Manny was sitting about 7 rows behind me. I was a bit lower to his right.
So he was a bit behind you.
A little bit right. So I was right, but you've seen it probably on my post. I was right in front of it. So, of course, the first goal goes in for us in the second half. Whoever was in the upper tier that threw a flare, I'd like to meet you because you made me so ill for 10 minutes.
Someone threw a flare?
Yeah, there was a flare thrown. It landed right in front of us. Did you not see it? All the orange smoke.
Oh, right.
The stewards, they're good. They went and got somebody. They tried to put it out and then drag it out. But, I'm terrible with things like that. But how people get these things into games,
I don't know.
God knows. God knows.
You've got to search your bags and everything.
Yeah. So that was my only downside. I don't like seeing things like that. It drives me mad. Keep it outside the ground, lads. But overall, that second half, once those substitutions were made, that team changed. Everybody that was on the pitch suddenly wanted to be playing for the badge. And I was glad to see it. I'd gone from saying 3 out of 10 and I was pushing it in the first half to I gave them a 7 out of 10. So overall, I'm saying, yeah.
Are you going to do what you do and go through the team and give a performance rating?
I'm going to go through for you. Yeah, exactly what I thought I'd do again. Right.
This is kind of a bit of a theme with you.
I think he had a reasonably good game. I don't think he could be held fully responsible for the goal.
He made some good saves.
He made some really good saves. So I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
I think he did really well. Sace, unfortunately, because of his actions, I'm giving him a 3.
Yeah.
Cody, I've got to give him 8 out of 10. I could hear him shouting again. And he was back up. He wasn't looking down. He was going in for things. I mean, to see him up in our half, knocking that ball in the 97th minute, that tells you he wanted something. So 8 out of 10. Bolly, I'm unsure on Bolly again. I'm not sure whether he's back with us after his injuries. So I've given him a 6.
Yeah.
Ait Nori, better game from him again.
He was better.
Give him a 7.
Yeah.
Martinho, 7 again.
Yeah.
Neves, he was running around a bit more than we saw last week. I'll give him an 8.
Yeah.
Dendoncker, I think he's making a lot better runs, but he's got to get that final foot to where he actually wants it to go.
Yeah.
He did a few that were good. Most of them were letting him down again. I don't want to see him going, though. I like the lad. I think he could play for us, and he'll mature into it. So giving him 7. Castro, I'm going to call him. Other people won't. I'll give him an 8.
Yeah.
Neto, I'm down to a 6. I don't think he performed as well as he could.
He faded a little bit, Neto.
Yeah, he faded.
He ain't fully fit yet, is he?
No. And Raul, I love seeing him on the pitch. I just wish David Luiz hadn't done what he did to the lad because he's not been the same since. For his effort and what he was trying to do, I'm giving him a 7.
Yeah, he did. He did seem very motivated, and obviously, we also want to say congratulations to Daniela and Raul. Just had the birth of their second child.
Their second child.
Congratulations to them.
I mean, the subs that came on, Dave, Trincão, I've got to give him an 8.
Yeah.
Chiquinho, I've got to give him a 9. I thought he was excellent.
Yeah.
I say Wangi Chan, I'm struggling to give him a 5.
So the question is, mate, Trincão, thoughts on him?
I'll tell you what, if Barcelona don't want to keep and pay up for Traore, at this moment in time, I'd do a straight swap. I'd keep
you know what? I think
we'd have the better.
I think in that formation, he comes alive.
He does. I think we'd have the better player of the two. He'd give us more all round than just Traore and his runs. Although I have to say, I do feel Fabio Silva at times is as quick as Traore's been. The young lad has got a lot of running in his legs.
He's got pace.
He has.
Chan's got pace as well, but he doesn't seem to use it in the right areas.
No.
And
your Morgan Gibb White question.
Yes.
Tell you what, Sheffield, if you'll give us 12 million, keep the lad. Don't send him back.
So you don't feel
he's a championship player at the best. He's not going to ever come back to us and think and set us ablaze. So I'll take the money and invest it.
So he deserves the opportunity.
He's had it. He's had it a couple of times, and he couldn't do it.
He's gone out on loan, hasn't he? And he's been brilliant for them. And he's a year on, he's got stronger. He's had a lot of game time. Mason Mount, someone made the point, he went out on Derby and come back to Chelsea, a better player.
He came back, no, because we've done it before. He's been out and come back and couldn't do it.
Yeah, but he got
not
injured.
like a full season, but he got injured. But I don't see him coming back. We've tried with him and persevered. I can't see
and Adrian Richards agreeing with you on that on Morgan Gibbs White.
Fair enough, Adrian.
My view on it is that maybe we'll sell him. I'd like to see him given another opportunity.
Would you give him then the first half of the season and use him as an impact sub? Is that what your thinking is? Or would you be playing him from the start?
I just think I think he'd fit into that 4-2-3-1 formation quite well, and he gives us something different. And we need to strengthen in the midfield area, and we've got someone there that's 12 goals and 7 assists in the Championship. So for me, based off what he's done this season and what I've seen in the past, the glimpses that we've seen of him, and I think he's been. I do think he's made mistakes as a young man does, and if he's grown up and toughened up and got better, I think he could be a big asset. But you don't know until we give him the chance. That's. I want to see. I'd like to see him given another opportunity.
But would you give him the opportunity then of playing the 90 minutes, or would you use him as a 15-20 minute sub at the end of the second half?
If he's good enough and it works in a formation, and he can play 90 minutes and he's up to speed with it, then I'd play anyone. But the proof's in the pudding. It's like Chiquinho. We talked about this Chiquinho, didn't we, last week? And I've been harping on about Chiquinho for
been using the lad
weeks. He's got an assist every 24 minutes or something that he's been on the pitch because he's so positive and direct. You've got to, he probably won't start, but I think he's going to be a brilliant player for us as we go through. I think he's going to be fantastic. Morgan Gibbs White, I can see both arguments. I'm kind of slightly leaning towards.
With what you've said, I'd be saying I'd be using him for the first part of the season before the September loan section comes into play. I think I would. I'd give him then those few weeks to see what he's like coming back from the bench. But if he wasn't doing anything,
he's kind of a Marmite, isn't he? At the moment, he's kind of like a barometer. He's like a barometer. Trincão's a bit like that. A barometer that swings left to right. When you see him, he's like the last 2 weeks we've been like, oh, forget him. And then before that, we was like, wow, brilliant. And then like after the weekend, it's like see what. And I think that changed a little bit like that.
I think that change of formation at the end. I think it put those players to a bit to ease because they knew Chelsea weren't expecting that change, and I think that could be our key.
I think that the style of play and the players that were on the pitch suited that formation, and it was great to see us take a positive step. And we put Chelsea to the sword. I mean, they literally, like I said before, they were literally on the ropes. Days. Paul said it was like a light switch that went on, and all of a sudden, it was all Wolves. It was brilliant. And of course, getting that last minute win. I mean, talk me through it, Sam. From
where I was standing, it came down on my right.
Yeah.
Okay. The ball was sent across. The cross was put in, and Cody just dove straight ahead of everybody. His head was above them, and we realised this. I saw his head hit it. It was in the back of the net before I could put the two together. The next thing I knew is Cody'd run in front of me, and he was about 3 people away on the right. Everybody dived on top of him, and it just went ballistic. So it was just totally unexpected. It was a brilliant first ball. I think that was Chiquinho who passed it across. It was a brilliant ball across. I missed who set the ball in. It was Trincão. Was it Trincão?
Trincão got the ball, and it was a first time pass out to Chiquinho, who just literally
just put it round, didn't he?
The boy can cross a ball.
Yeah,
he can cross a ball.
I think we should let him do the corners. Certainly do. He should be taking the corners.
Neto delivers a decent corner. I know we got Martinez, but remember Beckham? He used to have this flat delivery.
Used to bend it,
yeah. And then he didn't loop up. It used to have this flat delivery, which is so hard to defend. Chiquinho's got that.
Exactly the same speed. It seems to start very low and build as he gets towards the box, the 6-yard box. And that's what players aren't expecting. I'm fed up of us playing these little short corners. That's one thing I don't like. They don't seem to get us anywhere other than back to the halfway line.
We've done a lot less this year. But I think Chiquinho, he's got some pace on him as well. You saw for the first goal how he picked up the ball and he ran through the middle of the Chelsea midfield, and he got away and was literally managed to get the ball out, and then obviously got it to Trincão, and Trincão did that fantastic, brilliant finish. What a strike that was for the goal. It was. I don't know if you've watched my match vlog yet.
I did. I watched that beforehand. We were looking at that sitting in the car on the Pattingham Road, waiting for the police and the ambulance to come and move the cars as I went off at 7:45 to drop the lad back home.
And the bit with the Wolves fans on the right and the Chelsea fans on the left.
It was great.
It's class when that happens. There was a lot of banter going backwards and forwards, I can tell you, from some of the fans.
We came out and the police and the stewards had segregated us coming down that little passage by the wall. And then it opened out and eventually they let us go whichever way we want. We were walking with Chelsea fans that had bothered to stay in the game. We'd been having a bit of banter with one lad up in the upper tier corporate. Got a bright orange shirt on. And there'd been banter going back the whole game about what the score was. And then when they scored, we were all like this. So he was giving us some.
Tears.
Yeah. And it just went on.
I don't really go in for the banter as such, but I was stood thinking, but when the second one went in, I did do this.
Yeah. Well, we were sitting giving it the 2-2, and it went to 2-2, and they were like, "Sorry, everybody, I didn't want to offend anybody," but it was going on. Oh, cheers, thank you.
I don't mind the banter when it's good natured and it's funny and stuff like that. I just don't like it when it gets
ridiculous sometimes.
When it gets to the point where it's derogatory and stuff like that. There's never a need for that. But there's a lot of good natured banter. And I say after the game, there's quite a few Chelsea fans because we were recording the instant reaction after the game, after the Jobsworths had moved us onto the street, which was unbelievably crazy with their yellow, their glow tops on
their jersey. They got it. You can't stand there.
There's a lot of Chelsea fans that did come over and were saying fair play, and I admire them for that.
I think the eventual bit we had with the lads that we walked down the road who gave us the shortcut back to the coaches.
Yeah,
and they were spot on. We were only a few minutes from the coach down Imperial Road, the way they sent us. Yeah. They walked that way because they were parked on some industrial estate that was close to it. And they were saying, well, if you'd have played the last 15, 20 minutes the way so the end of the game, for the first half, said you'd have given us a full game, you'd have probably beaten us 5-2.
Oh, definitely.
That was their thought.
That was going to win that at the end. It was like the Alamo at the end, but it's like, where's it been for the last 4 matches? It's like, where has it been? And it suddenly came back. But it's good to see the team playing for each other. It's good to see us move the ball quick, playing with some confidence and passion, playing for the shirt. Because we said before the game, as you probably saw on the match vlog, regardless of the result, and I said it on socials, we just want to see some fight and passion for the shirt, some effort. Because we didn't, not saying we didn't try, but it didn't seem like it against Brighton.
No, I think that the previous 4 games, we hadn't seen any. Their heads had been down. And the comments on the beach and all the rest of it, they were given a short break, which I didn't agree to. I don't think that was the right thing to have done. As I said last week, I'd have had them back in training and doing that. But it seemed to have had some impact.
And the confidence come flowing back into the side when the first goal went in.
I mean, I don't agree where footballers keep saying, "Oh, but we're getting tired. It's near the end." They're professional footballers that train for and get paid a lot of money. I don't see that bit about getting tired. You get tired after a game. Okay, the next day you're up, you go into training, it refreshes you, and by the end of the week, you're up for it again. And I know when I used to do all my running and everything, training used to wear you out. The day of an event, you were hyped for it. You'd run your 100 metres and second, I'd used to come or third, a couple of times first, and you'd be elated, but then you'd collapse on the floor, absolutely knackered. And that was it. You go back 2 days later into your full training regime, and you were back again buzzing for the next meet. So
well, exactly.
They're the same. They're the same. And I watched, I don't know if everybody saw Match of the Day Extra. I can't remember who was on this week, but the lad was saying that they did one of these little podcasts with one of the lads, and he was saying he's into gym training and stuff. And other players aren't into it so much. In fact, they only do 15 minutes. And that amazes me because that was always part of any regime. Your gym work backs up your track work. So surely it's the same for footballers. Your gym work backs up what you do out on the pitch.
I'm guessing it is. I mean, they have these programs, don't they, that go on and the way they eat and everything. But it was just great to see the energy and the passion and the togetherness of the team and the fans and everyone happy. And here we are on Sunday night at the end of the week, with smile on our faces. And it's such a difference because we don't want to have a go at the team. We don't want to. I mean, I'm quite a positive guy, generally speaking. I've got a channel, and it's my job as part of the channel to try and reflect the mood. And when you haven't seen the performances, even me, and I'm probably one of the, happy clappers, whatever it is people want to call me, whatever. I'm trying to be positive. You can't accept a performance where, I did say when Brighton beat West Ham, Man United 4, it made me feel a little bit better about last week. But, it was just good to see us back. And if we can carry that on into the remainder of the season now, no matter what thing, if we just want to see us play, then great. I mean, looking ahead to the City and the Norwich game, Sam,
I think... Yeah, I've got this feeling that we could do something against City at home. We're going to have 31,000 Wolves fans in that stadium cheering them on. There's only going to be, 2,500 City fans, if they're lucky. But having a look at their stadium today, they don't turn up for their home games, so I don't think they'll fill the Steve Bull lower anyway, especially on a Wednesday night. So I think we've got the upper advantage there, and we'll be behind the team from the kick-off. Norwich is my worry. We just don't perform against teams at the bottom of the table. And the relegated teams have got nothing to play for now, nothing to prove.
I think Carl said we've taken 1 point out of the bottom 4.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, isn't it? It's crazy.
It's a crazy stat.
The only thing I want to do, I want to see how Pookie plays on Sunday, I should say. I want to see how he plays because I'm thinking he'd be a player that I'd be quite interested in. And again, I want to see the City players. I love seeing Kevin De Bruyne play. God, that would be an absolute brilliant sign if you could ever pry him away from City. What a player. I know, you're never going to do it. I don't think we'd ever splash 100 million.
Maybe we could get Calvin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I don't know. But, mate, I mean, we've got to think. I'm feeling positive about it. I feel a lot more positive now. We're going to go there. You know that the Molineux crowd are going to be up for it. We're going to go for it. Wolves, at the end of the day, both City and Liverpool have got to play Wolves. Wolves could be the kingmakers. We could be the deciding team on which one of those two teams actually takes the title. I mean, City have obviously had a cracking game today and gone 3 points ahead. They've got 2 more goals now than Liverpool, so I'm watching on that. Yeah. So if we can beat City and Liverpool win by 1-0 or 2-0, they'll be equal on the top place. And everything else.
So that'll be interesting. Norwich, ideally, we've got to take 3 points ourselves just for our own.
The question is, someone's asked, do you think 3 points will get us 8th? I think we're going to get 8th. I've looked at the table. I know Adrian said Brighton keeping up. They have played 36 points.
Games,
Leicester have got 4 games in hand, but they're down and thing. It's going to, even if we don't get another point, I'm still thinking we might just hang on to 8th. It's crazy to think, but I do think we'll pick up points. I think we'll definitely. I'm feeling a lot more positive. I don't know. I feel like we're going to beat City on Wednesday night.
My own thought. I mean, United have only got 1 game left, haven't they?
United have got. I tell you, you might laugh. You might laugh at this, but Southampton ain't safe. They've got to play Leicester away, I think, and Liverpool. They've got 40 points. Depending on what the other 3 do, they've only got 2 games left. Man United, I think, have only got 1 match left as well, from what I can see. So who knows?
I think Everton might have rescued themselves at the bottom.
It's definitely looking that way. Sadly,
I think it's Leeds. I think it's Leeds.
No disrespect to any Everton fans, but I just think you'd like a taste of the Championship. But Leeds, there's the old song in it. Leeds are falling apart.
Well, they've been singing
it, and they actually are.
Yeah, and they've been singing it about us.
Well, they did. So, and that would be another team that would go down that we've tried to help stay up, like Huddersfield. Huddersfield could come back.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Mind you, having said that, Luton might come up and their ground only holds 10,300.
Not Luton.
Another Bournemouth.
I'll be struggling to get tickets.
Well,
no, I want Forest.
Oh, no. They can stay in the Championship for me.
No, I want Forest because it's local and there's a good
I know it's localish.
Corner.
Yeah. I think the big loss for our Midlands football and the East and West Midlands is Derby dropping down to League One.
Mate, League One is literally
the hardest league to
graveyard of Premier League clubs.
Yeah.
You've got Sheffield Wednesday and Sunderland. One of them is going to stay down because they're playing each other in the semi-final of the playoffs. Derby next year, Ipswich, Charlton, Bolton, Portsmouth. I mean, that's 6, 7, 8 teams.
Yeah,
that were Premier League teams.
It's tragic, but it's all about the money in football these days. And if they haven't got it, they can't keep up, can they?
No.
And I think we're lucky enough that we've had some money put into the club, and it's sustained us now. This will be one of our best runs since the Premier League's been formed. This will be our best run in the Premier League. I mean, 4 years. We'll be going into our 5th year. I think with the old Division 1, 2 to 4. I think our runs were a lot longer, weren't they, in the 50s and the 60s and prior to that. But
there was, and I'll tell you what, the summer's going to be a really interesting one. We're obviously going to be talking more about that in the upcoming podcasts. The next extra time will be after the Norwich game because I haven't got time to fit it in between City and
Norwich.
And things. So we'll be talking about both those games. So hopefully we've got a smile on our face again next week. And then obviously we'll be looking forward to the final match of the season. And we'll have a very good idea at that point what the state of play is, both in Wolves' ambitions of qualifying for Europe and the 8th place thing, which obviously after West Ham's result today, it's been pushed away. And of course the title race and what Wolves... impact can have on that, but we'll wait and see.
That's it. I think from our point of view, we've got to take 9 points out of the 3 games if we want any chance of getting European football, and I can't actually see that now. I think Man United are going to end up in the Europa League. I don't think they're going to sustain it. But as you've said before, there are teams coming up on us, and West Ham were the big one that we never expected to sustain their season.
No, they've got. I think West Ham have got to play Man City or Liverpool as well. I think.
Yeah.
Producer probably knows on that. Anyway, at that point, guys, I'm just going to say it's not as long as the last one. It's 1 hour and 44, which is still a good session. It's been a great old chinwag. We're literally happy. Thank you for everyone that's contributed in the chat. Before you drop off, please smash a like on the video. Let's see whether we can get over 100 likes and leave some comments. Please feel to share it. If you're watching it back, do the same. I really hope if you're watching it on catch up. And of course, if you're listening to it on the Always Wolves podcast, please leave us a 5-star review on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Loads coming up. Obviously, soon we'll be having the pre-match match preview for Man City. We've got the match vlog for that. We've got the reactions coming up, and then we're looking ahead to Norwich. Lots of content coming up this week before we then look ahead to the final match of the season against Liverpool. Tonight, we've got smiles on our face. The hope is back in our heart. The joy is back in every Wolves fan. A 97th minute equaliser by captain, fantastic Connor Cody, and also seeing the likes of Chiquinho and Trincão play with some vigour and vile. Absolutely fantastic. And until the next one, from myself and everyone who's been on, Lucy, Paul, Speedy, and Sam, and myself, always Wolves.